So we are going to create a e-commerce project, and technology we are going to use Angular. And I have seen in lot of job description Tailwind CSS UI is more in demand as compared to the other. So we are going to use the Tailwind CSS. So we'll talk about how we can go and can configure in our Angular application, and then we'll do the API integration. So we are not going to do the all the concept, few of the concept like how we can use the HTTP verbs. All we are going to see, and we are going to use the ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET Core Wave API. Okay, and we are going to use the SQL Server as a our database. And in this, like to communicate with the API and our SQL database, I'm going to use the entity framework core. First approach I will go and I will use code first approach. Code first approach. So already the API will be created. I will show you how we can go and you can integrate with our Angular application. And to doing like when you use the code first approach, so we don't have to do the function creation store procedure. Only we are doing the query using the link queue. So we'll use the link queue to query wherever it is like joining the table or just query. We'll go in and we'll use the link queue. Now, as we know, when you are experienced or already you have the experience or fresher, so when you go and work with the JS framework, it is mandatory to check the node and the npm and the Angular CLI version on which version you are working. So in the starting of the class, we have seen like to check Node.js. We have the node hyphen v or node hyphen hyphen version. So suppose if you are already fresher and you have got the machine, so in that you are required to check whether the node is installed or not. You have to execute this command, and if you are getting the version, that means install. And if you are getting like the internal or external command is not recognized, that means Node.js is not installed. So you have to raise the ticket for your IT team to install the Node.js. And once Node.js is installed successfully, the npm will be get installed. So to check npm, we have the command of node npm hyphen v and then npm hyphen hyphen version. And this npm we use in the JS to install all the third-party libraries. Like if you have to install the suppose Tailwind CSS, if I have to go and install. So with the help of npm, I can go and I can install the Tailwind in our application. And then finally, you can go and you can to check Angular CLI. Either you can go and write ng v or you can write ng version. And if you want know more command about the Angular CLI inside that, just go and type ng hyphen hyphen help. So you'll get all the commands which you can give, and there will be the alias and the full form which you can go and you can use. So once you have done now if you're cloning the application directly, go and you can open that in the VS Code, or if you have got the chance to work on the Angular applications from the scratch, so you're required to create the Angular application. And as we know, to create the Angular application, we have the command of ng new and your project name. over here. Okay. And now I have to go and create the project and the grocery. So you can go and you can take any of the online grocery we have. You can take any of them. So first, we'll go and we'll write ng new and I can write over here. You can also type so I can write like suppose VMart. VMart I have given the name of the my application. So we have the VMart. So now let me go and open the terminal. So we can go and you can start doing the setups. So terminal, go to the D drive, CLS, and I will write ng new and VMart. VMart is the name of my application. So it will ask like, would you like to add Angular routing? Yes, I want to add the Angular routing. Then it will ask which style sheet format you want to use. So you can say like normal CSS or SCSS, SAS or less. So we'll go and select the normal CSS. Press enter. It will go and it will create the structure of the Angular application. And you can see we have this all folder structure which we have. So there is one point you have to keep in mind, like if you are trying for a Angular position and you don't have experience and you're trying to get the, suppose you have got interview and you're selected, you have tried for 2 years of experience. So whenever you go and clone, like suppose you have cloned the project, so git clone and your repo, whatever the repo link will be there, you have gone and you have cloned, or you can go or you can, there are the different way you can go and you can specify over here the branch and all that, and you can go and you have cloned that one. Now once you have cloned this, now suppose you are in the command prompt, so you have to go to the path of the project, whatever the name of the project you have created, you have to go. So suppose I am in the D drive, so I will do like cd and vmart. So and again I will go like this, D and vmart, and it will be over here. So when you go and clone any, create any application locally, you will go and you will see a folder of node underscore modules, which will go and contain all your libraries inside this. But when you go and clone this folder, you're not going to find, because this is the largest file folder of your application, because it has a number of libraries which help us to run our Angular application. So once you clone, you have to go to the path of the project. Like suppose I have come to the VMart, and over here I will write npm I, or I will write npm install. And what it will do, it will go to your package.json, and in package.json I have two objects. One is the dependency, and then the second one will be the dev dependency. So what it will do, whatever the libraries we have inside these two objects, it will go and it will install all the libraries, because that libraries are used for running your application, or to build your application. If you don't go and do npm I or npm install, and you don't have this node underscore module folder, and you will try to like run your application like ngs and hyphen o, so it will not able to run, because all the libraries will be not going to have in your application. So it is mandatory to write npm I or npm install, and once you will go, it will, then you can go and write ngs hyphen o, then it will go and it will run. So let me check. So our application has been created successfully over here. Okay, successfully it has created. Let me go up. Okay, now clear the screen. And now I have to go and open this project directly in my VS Code. So I will go to the root of the project. So vim, and now over here I will write code space dot, and once I will press the enter, by default it will go and it will open in the my Visual Studio over here. And you will see we have the vmart project, and this is the default structure. And you will see that node underscore module is there. But in the real time, when you go and clone, this will be not going to have. And if you go to the packet.json, I was talking about this dependencies and dev dependencies. Locally, if you see, if you just create, there are this much of packages are there. This in the dependency and the dependency, you can see all these packages. But when you go and clone the Angular application, you'll go and you'll see more libraries inside this store. So if you don't go and install these libraries, your Angular application will not going to run over here. And as know, whenever you go and create any application, by default, one component will be get created. And you can see now we have the app routing module.ts. And by default, it has created the const route object, and it has imported in the over here, which we done later when you included the module. Later you can see router module dot for root, it is used for the parent, and when you go and use for child, it is used for the children, and it has exported the router module. Then only the root module will able to understand, okay, we have the one module which is our app routing dot module. Now I have to go and run this application. So I will go new terminal, and I will go and do over here cmd cls ng is hyphen o. So you can see it is saying that port 4200 is already in use. And because I am running currently in the same machine, I am running two application over here. So if I will go and say yes, would you like to use a different port? So if I will select yes, so it will go and it will create based on the 4-digit, 5-digit or 6-digit combination, it will go and it will create a port for me. So let's select yes. So you have seen this scenario as well. In real time, if two developers are working on the same virtual machine, so you're going to get this type of scenario. So now you can see it has created the port of 5-digit over here. And let's see the other scenario. If I'll go and suppose I have terminated this Angular development server, and again if I'll go and write ngs hyphen o, again that will going to ask because the other developer is still working on the 4200 port. So again it will ask the same question, and again if I'll go and select, again it will go and create a different port for me. Now you can see it has created a different port for me. Till the first developer has not gone and closed this. So if he has not gone and terminated, it will ask the same question again and again, and it will go and it will display. Now let me go and close this, and now I have terminated that one. Okay, and I'm closing this as well. And now let's see, it will go and it will run on 4200. So now let me go and terminate this as well, cls, and I will go and I will write ngs hyphen o. And now you can see that one I have closed. So now it's running on 4200 over here. Okay. So you will get like suppose two or more developers are working on the same virtual machine over there. And now the client also very smart. They will not allow you to work on your local machine. They are giving you the virtual machine where you have to do all your work. So at that time you are getting, so you can go and you can pivot. Before we used to do manually, like changing the port, but now the compiler only asks, and if you select yes, it will go and it will generate a port for you. And always the default component, which is our app component, everywhere if you go and see in the real-time application also, they will go and they will keep this as a your parent only. So we will also going to keep as your this component as a parent. So let me go over here and delete this, save. And now if I will go to the our UI part, so you can see we are now we don't have anything. Now, before proceeding to see about the components, how we can go and we can add, let's configure the Tailwind CSS in our application. So to configure the Tailwind CSS, we have the step one, which is like I will write the command npm I m hyphen d. You will get this command on the official page. If you want, you can go through the official page. You are going to get this command Tailwind CSS. And if you want to use the latest one, so you have to go and type latest, and you will get the latest version of the Tailwind CSS. Now let's go to the, let me go and make this smaller. And over here, I will go and make this as same as the small. And our application is running, so I don't want to terminate. So we can easily go and open other terminal on the click of this, and it will by default it will be in the PowerShell. Just comment in the command prompt CLS, and over here I will go and write that command npm I hyphen d and tailwind css at the rate latest. So we have the npm I hyphen d tailwind css latest, and it will go and it will install the package over here. So you can see it has installed 9422 packages, and all this it has get installed. Now we need to configure this one in our Angular. So we have to go and we have to create a Tailwind config.js file. So for that, we used to install the libraries. So we use the npm. If you don't require, because we have to just use the, you have to use to create the file. So we'll go and use npx. You'll see the difference between the npm and the npx. And we have the Tailwind CSS are in it. Once I will go and I will press the enter, it will go and it will create a file. And if I will show over here on the down, it will going to have a tailwind config.cs, and it has this all content over here. Now in this tailwind, we have to go and we have to configure in the content. So all this, whatever I am doing over here to configure tailwind, all will go and you'll get in the tailwind official document. If you want to learn more deeply, you can go and you can follow the Tailwind CSS documentation. Over here, I will go and I will use double quote. We have to give the path. So src forward slash double asterisk, then asterisk, then dot. And we are going to use on the files like HTML. Sorry, it will be inside this HTML and PS file, TypeScript file. So on these two files, we are going to use. So only we have to do the changes in this content only. We have to give the path of src, and then inside this we have the HTML and we have the CSS. Now save this. So this was the step 2. So let me go here and put in the doc. So step 2. to generate tailwind dot config dot js file. And for that, we have the command. We have written npx tailwind and then init. And once it is completed, now we have to go and open, and we have to update. We require to update this folder, this file over here, and we need to copy this and the final step, which is the step 4, and that will be our update styles.css. And in this, we are going to write at the rate tailwind base name and then at the rate tailwind components and then three these levels we have to use this at the rate tailwind utilities over here. So now let me go and open the style dot which is our global in our Angular application. So every component will going to have a separate CSS. But there will be one file which will go and which will work as a globally for your application. And which file is known as the our style dot CSS. So I will go and copy this all these three and go to the style dot CSS. And over here I will go and paste this. Okay. And we have the base name, right? Save. And now to test whether it has been configured successfully or not, I will simply go to our HTML and we have in the component we have the title, right? So I will go over here and write H2 and inside this is interpolation concept and inside this I will go and write title title and save. And now if you go to the UI, so let me go and decrease the size. So you can see we are able to see the we are able to see. Now let me apply the class on this H2. So class and then suppose my margin top I have applied with. So class, let me say we have the dot src asterisk asterisk html css html and tss and we have configured that one and we have used this component we have used and in the tailwind right tailwind base name tailwind component why this base name is getting base name 1 minute check me the official website of tailwind CSS. Getting started. And so you can write npm hyphen tailwind and then the npx tailwind over here. And you can see start. Okay, okay. So we have base. But once in the application, it has worked with the this. And now if I'll go and I will use the class of mat. So let me go and close and mat 12 over here I am using. And before let me check how it was working. Class mat 12. Let me add some other class to check why this is glitching. Classes are not getting applied 1 minute. Yeah, over here, if you can see, the classes are not getting applied to this. Let me check why this is happening. Because already we have saved all the files and we are running as well. And we have configured everywhere. We have configured in the .ts file and we have done the save and then we have added in the our base utilities. And let me add this all underline class copy and I will go to the app component. Over here you can see this is getting applied. Classes are we are getting, but it is not getting applied to the text. Save and just go to the UI. Not H2. Let me give to this H1 and check. Yeah, now you can see maybe due to you can see over here we have applied and the classes has been applied over here. Text, no, the classes is not getting applied to this one. Okay. Step we followed, the same step we followed, and we have configured as well in the src folder .html .css .ts file over here. Export and then Tailwind CSS, right? Tailwind CSS we have imported, and then we need to configure this. Okay, because there I used to this one is I think causing the error. Before it was base name. Now with the latest it is going to have the base. Okay, I will look into it and I will check some issue is there because Before it was base name, now they have changed to the base. We'll see this one. And if you can see, we have the intelligence over here. If I go and type something, so I'm the getting the intelligence related to the Tailwind CSS, you can see. So I have added the extension of Tailwind CSS intelligence. So you have to go to this extension and you have to go and install this Tailwind CSS intelligence. And you can see already I have installed in my this Visual Studio. So I am getting the intelligence whenever I am going to add some class. I am getting that over here to my application. Okay, we have created. Now, first of all, we'll go and we'll create a header for this one. And if you go to the Talent CSS, and if you go to their Git Learning and under the components, okay, 1 minute, let me click on Get Started. If you come over here, click on Get Started, and then you're going to have all over here the layout you can see. In this layout, let me go and check the components. And in the components, if you can see, we have the page section, we have all these elements are over here. Now let's go and this is related to the templates. So open this, go for doc, and go for the like I have search. So you can go and you can search over here talent CSS header. So you'll get the link over here. Just click and get started. And once you'll come, you can see over here we have the navigation. We have the navigation option over here. Now I will go and click on this. So we have the different type. You can go and you can directly create the header over here. You can create like this the header, or if you want to create the navbar like this, so you can go and you can create the navbar with all these icons over here. You can go and you can create. So suppose I will go and I will create the header like this over here, or you can go and you can create the navbar as well. And there are the multiple way we can go and you can sidebar you can go and you can create. So let's go and create a header over here. And I want this to be a separate component. So first of all, I will go and create a component and I want now to structure my component. So I will all the components I will go and create under a our components folder. So ng g c and components, and I don't want the spec.ts file to be added inside this because we don't have to write the unit test case for everything. So I will not include over here. And over here I will go and write header and I will write the command hyphen hyphen skip hyphen tests is equal to true. So it will go and it will escape the text file. Once I press the enter, now you can see HTML, TSS and .css file has been created. And as we know, if I have to go and display this component on the web, I have to go and use the selector. And already we have discussed about why we are getting this header as app prefix. So I will go and I will remove, but always the selector name should be unique. So I will go and copy this and I will directly go to the app, and inside this app, I will go and I will use this as a tag. So always it will be on the top over here. Just save and just save this as well. And I will come to this HTML. I will delete this and from the Tailwind CSS, if you want to go and create like this, so you have to go and you have to show code and you have to copy all this code and you need to go and write in the .html. And once you will save this and if it is compiled successfully, now I can go. Okay, so I think we have still it's running, right? Let me go and run in the other browser, localhost 4200. So we are getting, I think we are getting the Tailwind error due to the okay max call size exit maximum call size exit there in the main.ps. Let me go and rebuild this. So I will stop the from and I will go and start the application. NGS iPhone and it has compiled successfully. But why we are getting this error message? DevTools was disconnected from the page. Once the page is ready, Dev will automatically reconnect. Let me go and close and try to open. Yeah, let me close this as well. Let me terminate CLS. So it has created the file. It is getting compiled successfully. But why we are getting this message? Okay, let me go and comment this code. I think the header is not getting, or we are using this header. This is making the price because this may be treated as a 1 minute check, or we will comment this code and we'll check what the error we are getting. And now if I will go and check on the local host. Yeah, now you can see we are getting over here the but that CSS is not getting applied. That's why it is displaying like this. So we need to check why the CSS is not getting. So I will check because see 1 hour before same I have used the base name in the style.css. So it was working fine. But over here it is not working fine. So you can go to the this Tailwind CSS and they have the implementation videos they have created. You can go and you can see the over here. So you can see base and then I think we need to let me execute this as well and then we'll see. Let me go to the our command prompt and execute this. Specify into input.css is not Over here it's saying the output, but in this they are saying the in. And where we should need to go and configure, they have not given this one. Okay, I will go and I will check and I will tell you the tomorrow what was the issue with this one. Because 1 hour before I have executed in one of the application and it was successfully it was running, but in this application it was not over here. So we'll go and we'll put the header on the top, and we have created the header component over here. And in this header component we have all this. Now suppose once the CSS will start working, it will be in a, all the content will be in a row over here. So now you will see we have all these features, price, and then we have the about us. So if you go and see in our UI, so it is in the anchor tag, and it is using the href, and currently we are not passing the value over here. Once you pass the value, so we have seen about the concept of the routing, and so we want to implement the routing concept first on the all the headers which we have, and we'll go and we'll change this text based on the our requirement. We'll go and we'll change this text. So we have to go and we have to import the routing concept. So I will go to the app.routing, and in this routing, whatever the features you want to keep inside this in the header.html. So suppose it will going to have home, and then after that it will going to have like about us or product, product. Then we have the service. We'll change based. We'll refer some of the e-commerce website and we'll change this one. And suppose we have the contact. Let me put product in the third. And we'll go and we'll use this as a about, and then finally we have done with that. Save. And now if you go to the UI, so now we have the home, about, product, contact, and we'll add few over here. And now if you want to go and so we first of all we need to go and create the all the these four component. So the same way you can go and you can create, and we're not going to add the PS file. So over here if I will have to go and add, so I will add like skip, and instead of writing the header already we have done, we'll go and I will create a home component, and I will go and press enter. So it will create the home component for me. In the same way I will go and I will create a about. So it will go and it will create a about, and in the same I will go and create a product. It will go and it will create the product for me. And finally we are going to create the contact, and then we'll go and we'll create the contact over here components. And all you can see we have created a separate folder, and inside this we are creating all your components. So we have created all the components over here. Now in tomorrow class we'll see how we can go and we can create the object of route over here, and how we can go and use the router link instead of the href. In the while training I have given you the difference between the href and the router link. So when you go and use the href, the page will get refreshed every time when you go and click. but we don't want to refresh the page because there will be might there will be a risk of data loss. So only we want to change the URL and the page content. So we'll, instead of using the href for the anchor tag, href will go and will refresh with the router link over here. So we'll go and we'll implement this in our tomorrow class.